Sometimes what makes a woman drift away isn't betrayal. It isn't shouting or fighting. It's the silence between your hands. The quiet moments you don't notice linger longer than any argument. She remembers every pause, every missed glance, every touch that didn't happen. It's not loud, but it speaks volumes. It can push her heart away before you even realize it. Brothers, let me tell you about Daniel. He was a good man, worked hard, stayed loyal. But he missed something so small that to his wife it meant the world. A glance left unreturned, a hand not held, a simple question not asked. These small acts build the invisible walls we often fail to see. And to her, they whisper, "Maybe I am invisible now." If you've ever wondered what women really need, listen closely. And if this story resonates with you, subscribe now, because these are truths men rarely talk about. Daniel and Mia had been together for 7 years. They shared routines, laughter, and comfort. They ate at the same table, watched the same shows, and yet something had quietly shifted. She felt a distance forming that he didn't notice. Small things, unnoticed things, grew into a chasm between them. She longed for connection, for acknowledgement, for the simple gestures that once made her heart feel safe. One night, her hand rested beside his, just inches away, waiting, hoping. But Daniel grabbed the remote. It was a small act, insignificant to him, but to her it was a quiet rejection. The kind of rejection that doesn't scream, but lingers silently, weighing on the heart. To Daniel, it was nothing. Just another night, another episode. But for Mia, it was a quiet wound. She smiled, pretending it didn't hurt. But inside, she questioned herself. Am I invisible now? Am I still important? Her mind replayed their early days, searching for connection. Every memory of his hand reaching for hers made the absence more painful. She remembered the first months of their love. The way he always reached for her hand. The gentle touches on long walks. The light brush of fingers while cooking. The embrace that lingered just long enough to say, "You are loved." Those gestures communicated more than words ever could. Back then, every touch, glance, and laugh was proof of choice. He chose her, and she felt it in every moment. But now those gestures were gone. She didn't want roses or grand declarations. All she wanted was the hand that once chose her freely, without hesitation. Every unheld hand, every unnoticed smile, felt like neglect. And it carried a weight far heavier than words. A weight Daniel had yet to recognize. When love goes silent, brothers, doubts grow loud. She wondered if her presence mattered, or if she had quietly been pushed aside. Every missed glance, every moment he failed to notice her, whispered, "Maybe you are no longer chosen." And slowly, those whispers became her reality. Men, hear me. Neglect doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. And sometimes it whispers so long that she begins to believe it herself. The tiniest absences of attention can wound deeper than betrayal. A glance not returned. A shoulder left untouched. The smallest gestures communicate the loudest truths. Daniel loved Mia, but he was blind to the small things. He didn't see the longing in her eyes. He didn't notice the subtle pull of her hand towards his arm. He thought love was obvious, forgetting that love must be consistently communicated. Presence is not just being physically there. It's noticing, responding, and engaging emotionally. Small choices, small gestures, they keep love alive. Brothers, don't wait until she's begging for attention. If this story opens your eyes, subscribe and share it with another man who needs to hear it. Night after night, Mia carried her quiet pain. She wanted to speak, but feared sounding needy. So she tested him with silence, hoping he'd notice, hoping he'd remember what their hands once said without words. Every unspoken expectation weighed on her chest. Love felt absent not because it was gone, but because it was unnoticed. What men think is small is often the very thing she treasures most. A hand left unheld, a shoulder unacknowledged, or a gaze that doesn't meet hers. These communicate louder than arguments, louder than words. One hand on hers can heal wounds she hides from the world. It's proof of being chosen, being loved, being seen. One hand can mean the difference between feeling chosen or forgotten. Daniel's work consumed him. Late nights, emails, responsibilities. He was present physically but absent emotionally. Mia felt the gap. She wanted him to show up, not just in body, but in attention and touch. Presence isn't just being there. It's seeing her, engaging fully, responding to small signals of love. She remembered his smallest gestures. A hand on her back while walking, a brush of fingers while cooking, a hug that lingered, even briefly, saying, "You are loved." Those small moments carried power, and their absence left a quiet void no words could fill. They had promised each other forever. He promised to see her, to choose her every day, to keep intimacy alive through small daily acts. Those promises were simple but powerful. And when ignored, they left a silent ache in her heart. She began questioning herself. Was it her fault? Was she too quiet, too demanding, too different? She wanted to communicate, but feared being misunderstood. So she retreated, silently testing his love. Every night, she weighed whether love could survive unnoticed. One evening, he finally saw her distance. He remembered their early days. He reached for her hand. Not words, not gifts, not apologies. Just the gesture that always mattered. And it began to heal what had been quietly broken. The tension broke in the simplest way. One hand holding another spoke louder than everything else. Said, "I see you. I choose you. You still matter." And that was enough to begin healing. Small gestures proved the strongest truths. Brothers, love is not proven in grand acts. It is shown in the small, consistent gestures. A hand held, a shoulder touched, moments noticed without being asked. These are the things that women remember and treasure. They keep hearts alive. Mia felt the warmth return. She smiled without saying a word. She didn't need grand declarations. She needed presence. She needed to feel chosen, valued, and seen. And Daniel learned that love must be shown every day. The truth is, men, love lives in the smallest, quietest moments. It is in touch, presence, noticing. These are the acts that sustain hearts and relationships. They are remembered long after words are forgotten. Holding her hand isn't childish. It isn't weakness. It is intimacy at its purest form. It says, you are loved, valued, remembered. And that is more powerful than any grand gesture. So men, don't overlook it. When she reaches for you, take her hand. Because to her, that touch is everything. Subscribe if you believe more men need to hear this truth.